Welcome to the Launch to Six podcast, a podcast about how you can launch your online business from 0 to 6 figures in 24 months or less, regardless of your prior experience. Now, here's your hosts.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Launch to Six podcast, where we help you start your business, grow your business, and the North Star is 6 figures. So welcome. I'm with my good friend Thomas again. How's it going, buddy?
Hey guys. Yeah, very good, mate. Very good. Always good.
So today's episode, as promised in the last one, we're going to talk about topics and industries. People call it niches or niche or wherever you're based in the world. It's what topic you're going to be diving into. So I think this is really important because let's just say you love knitting, for example. You love knitting jumpers and you want to go into the knitting industry. It's a tiny niche, right? It's probably not going to work. Or you love, I don't know, exotic umbrellas or something crazy like that. And it might be you love it, but the niche is so small, you're not going to be able to build a viable business out of it. So I think that's important to start off with. It's picking the right industry. And for me personally, I went into the business to consumers. I'm the business and I taught the consumers, and I still have that business, Flip From Home, which is the real estate business. It's been rebranded to Flip From Home. It's been called Flip Remotely and stuff like that. So I taught people, and still do, beginners mainly, how to start and grow a real estate wholesaling business from scratch. And I teach them all the strategies about real estate and how that works. I'm not going to go deep into that now. But I teach them. But it's for people that are new to business. Similar to you guys that are listening to this, it's new. So I started off with that. Why? Because the potential audience is hundreds of millions of people. Is anyone that's 18 to 65 that can speak English and wants to learn how to make an income, a separate income. That is it. Like the niche we're doing now, we're teaching people that want to start an online business. And that is anyone that wants to learn how to make more money. So I've learned from my mentors over the years, the 3 big ones are fitness, health, and money and wealth. They're the 3 industries that are massive, meaning that if you had 1,000 people in your niche, there would be more than enough to go around. There's 2 billion people on Facebook, right? It's crazy, but small niches fail. So what do I mean by small? I mean, it's really obscure. Something like, I don't know, something just really crazy and tiny. I don't even know, like handbags. You're selling handbags on Amazon that have Justin Bieber's face on for Justin Bieber's face. It might work, but it's easy to replicate, and it's it's a little bit cheesy. But let's just say, for example, I don't know, we have actually, if you've checked out our Facebook group, Launch to Six community, we have a PDF we give away, which helps you with topics. We've got, I mean, in our programs, Thomas, right? Because we got a tech wizard, we actually have a developer that's created an entire personality topic assessment based on your personality, and it gives you topics. I think the big ones to start it off, exactly. Big ones: money, health, fitness. And then there's loads of mini ones. What do you think, Thomas? That you've seen a lot of guys that have made millions in different industries, in the real estate, property, forex, and all that stuff. But what do you think on topics?
I mean, the big thing being, especially you've got to look at it from a perspective. So we're looking at it from the perspective of an online business. Now, that being said, generally you are, if it's an online business, you're going to be attracting your customers online. So you've got to kind of consider, how do my users enter that space? Where are my users and how are they? So, if you've got a product that is, I don't know, specifically designed for over 80-year-olds, you're probably going to find that, now, not to say that a modern 80-year-old isn't, tech savvy. I know a few who are, but you may find that they may not be on the space that you intend to market to. The other side of it is, are you an 80-year-old? Do you actually understand the product yourself? Do you understand your niche? Are you your target customer? Now, there are some sort of, there are some kind of contradictions to that rule, because, you know, for example, with myself, my background is property, and, you know, I have very nice properties. I'm very pleased with them, but I'm not my target audience. I'm not targeting myself to go live in my own properties, because I'm not so interested in living in a room share. So some of our properties are holiday lets and multi-let properties, you know, but I did live in them. When I was back in university, I lived in a multi-let property. So I understood the market space. So going back to the initial point is, do you understand your target user? And do you understand how they buy? What's their journey? You know, do you understand the nuances of how they go about researching and then purchasing your product? So, for example, you know, we within what we do at Launch to Six, we have a program. Now, we understand that process because we ourselves have gone through the process of starting a business, being mentored, going through business programs, invested a lot in ourselves, in our own businesses. And therefore, I feel very suitable in the position to actually develop and share this product because of the fact that I've been through that process. I feel as though I understand that business well. So
you've been a customer, right? What you're selling, you've been on the side.
Can you understand the perspective of the customer? And can you understand that there is a lot of customers? So, you know, there's a great example. I remember in 4 Hour Workweek, the example that was given was, guys, check out the 4 Hour Workweek, very good business book. But the example that was given there was yoga for climbers. And you start to look at it and you go, actually, this is a hyper niche. And when you enter a hyper niche, okay, you've got a very kind of, you haven't got much competition for your specific product, but you're also very limited by your specific product. Whereas if you were to enter a space of just yoga and you had a product range with a step ladder of products, so, you know, someone enters, you've got a minimum viable product that's, you know, depending on the market, it's quite low level, all the way up to maybe a program or a mastermind or whatever, or high tier product. You know, you could be selling climbing harnesses, for example, they're quite expensive. But the point being is that you've got opportunity to pivot. And I think that's really, really important to be able to do that under your brand, under what you're doing.
That's huge. That's what you said there about being able to pivot, because you can test and you can launch an online business and have customers in 30 days. You can turn your knowledge or your hobbies or you can be a broker of knowledge, someone else's expertise, and you can start generating sales within 30 days, because the internet is all about speed. It's money. The old quote is money loves speed. And I think when you know that, it's great. So you should write down a list of your interests and your hobbies and what you're good at. You should write down a list, spend 10, 20 minutes writing down and get clear on what you like or what you're intrigued in. Because some people go in, I never knew I would be going into a SaaS business, software business, or a real estate education business, or direct to homeowners with wholesaling properties. I never thought I would do that because I didn't know I was interested in it. I didn't know I was interested in marketing. So you've got to dive in and find out what you're intrigued at. But I mean, there's a list of topics. Let's paint it like this. There's big oceans of customers. There's an ocean, massive ocean, and there's tons of customers in there, lots of fish, right? Bad analogy, but you'll see
plenty of fish in the sea.
You'll see many analogies on this podcast, and when you get to know me, but that's another story for another time. So weight loss, huge. It's massive. You've got P90X, Weight Watchers, the Atkins diet, the South Beach diet. They're the huge ones that make 9 figures, 100 million. Okay, they're massive because who doesn't want to get in shape and stuff like that? But listen to this. Then you've got a niche within a niche. So you've got how to lose belly fat for ladies that have just been pregnant. That's an industry. You've got men that want 6-pack abs. You've got men that want to get lean. You've got men that want to body build. You've got all these little niches and little categories, same as health. You've got paleo diet recipes. You have vegan diets giving recipes. You have the carnivore. You have all these things that you can do. And obviously you're thinking, wow, this is amazing. How do I get customers? That's the next episode. We're going to teach you how do you actually get customers. But health is huge, isn't it? You have vegan, you have people that want to learn how to meditate is a huge industry, and that comes under health. Dating and relationships is massive. For example, people that want to start, one of our associates has a client that teaches people how to quit porn addiction. How much do you think he makes? He makes $50,000 a month teaching that, because it's an industry. People that can't stop cheating. That's a niche. So you're all these things that you could be passionate about are women. How does a woman that's been beaten by a man, how does she recover? Mental health, depression, anxiety, all of these things, approaching women, date, a pickup. There's some pickup.
Yeah.
You can make $100 million a year.
Yeah. I think what's really interesting from what you're saying is just there's this really broad range of things. And I mean, we mentioned a principle in our last episode around failing fast. And how do you go into these spaces and you go, do you know what? I'm coming from, I don't know, IT. I'm passionate about mountain biking. I want to start a business in and around mountain biking. Tell you what, I'm going to sell guides to how to clean mountain bike disc brakes for more efficient braking. Hyper niche.
Yes. Hyper niche.
Hyper niche.
Yes.
Now, the question being, okay, right. So you form a hypothesis. You go, right, okay, so I think that there's a business in this area, in this niche. How do I test this? This is the big question. We'll be covering a lot in how to get customers. And this is very much around this area. How do I begin to test this? And test this at an effective way, time and money wise. That's the really key thing, fast. And from that, you can then begin to understand. But I think anyone who's smart about entering a specific market space, when they brand themselves, is to have some form of, as I mentioned, a pivot, some form of ability to add and a modularity to bolt on other products and other services to what you do. If you brand yourself as the, mountain bike brake cleaner guy, it's very limited. But how can I say it?
I completely understand what you're completely understand is coming up with like different products or hybrids of that niche that maybe, for example, you've got a little pond and then you've got a sizable lake. Then you have an ocean. And of course, there's going to be more people fishing in the ocean because it's massive. There's for example, how to lose weight. That's fine, but you're not starting with the end in mind with who's my customer. Because remember, your customers are human beings. They're actually people that have personalities and problems and emotions. So, for example, there's some people, and this is what my girlfriend Laurie is going to do, is she loves animals, right? She's so passionate about animals. She doesn't really want to be a veterinarian. But she could teach people dog behavior. She could teach people how to get their dogs to behave. And that niche is in the tens of millions worldwide. Who does, for example, I think 8 out of 10 homeowners own dogs in America. So there's many things you can do with this instead of just going, I'm going to teach people how to have their pets behave. Is it parrots? Is it a dog, a cat? Is it a specific dog that has, you know what I mean? So that's really well put, mate, because many people need to know who their customer is, and then they can pivot what you said in the last episode, different niches. And I love the internet because you can launch a business in 14 days and you can test what works, what doesn't. My friend Ollie, before he started his Amazon business, he's made millions online now. And before he did that, he loved composing music. So what he did is he went on Google AdWords, he bought some ads, and he bidded on some keywords. It's very small. This was taken from the 4-Hour Workweek. And he tested to see if his product would work. He had an invisible cart, so he didn't have a product built yet. So when someone went to buy and they clicked submit order, it come up with an error, but that proved his model would work.
Yeah, this is a really interesting point, actually. I'm really happy you brought this up. So this is one of the really interesting things around picking niches and, more importantly, testing niches and your product within that niche. And this is the big thing. your mother is not your customer. And I say that anecdotally, it's an anecdote. But the key point being is test into an actual live market. Go out and test your product. Go and speak. So whether it be online and, see whether or not they'll, I think that's a great example, is the fact that with an invisible card, they actually bought them through. These people were willing to spend money. They thought they were spending money. How big a test of that is of your business idea? So I think that's huge, being able to do that. And because everyone's going to be your best friend. Is this a good idea? Yes. There's going to be a few people say no, but it's not a good case study. So I think that's really important to be able to test in a really live, efficient manner.
Yes. And the topic, you can make money from many topics. You might be in, for example, Thomas is an investor, owns 7 figures worth of property and controls, has a rent portfolio. He could teach people how to build a rental portfolio. One of our partners, Casper, our other partner in Trio, Casper, has a crypto, is a specialist in that, has proven that he could create a product for crypto. Well, yours truly, we're actually doing that. If you follow us long enough, we actually have a product about crypto. It depends when you're listening to this. But you can teach self-improvement. You might be a life coach already, or you might want to get into life coaching. You might be passionate about helping women that have been abused, or men that are addicted to porn and it's affecting their relationship, or men that are really self-conscious and shy. That's called a mini niche, but it's still big enough to build a 7-figure business, $1 million, $1, pound, euro, wherever you are in the world business. Yeah. Okay. A massive business means what does that mean? An ocean. You can go to 10 million. There's people that are making 100 million, 200 million in that niche. That's a big business, like P90X. But just to round this off from my perspective, you can go B2B. So we have a company, Menacing Media, that's an agency that teaches business owners marketing, and we basically run all their marketing. That's business to business. You could teach people finance, personal finance, how to get debt restructuring consulting. You can teach people Excel spreadsheets and how to be able to come up with a personal survival budget, or whatever it is, whatever you're good at. If you're analytical and you think, I'm not a good speaker, you don't need to be. I can't speak like you. You don't need to be. You just need to provide a solution. They don't care about you. They care about the solution you provide.
And the other side of it is how, now to completely flip it on its head, because we've spoken a lot about the niche, your customer, that side of things. But the other side then is you. How are you going to, now there's an element of, on a sort of macro level is, don't choose something you're going to get bored in. If you don't like knitting, don't go into knitting. But more importantly is how to then look at your goals and how do you then design your lifestyle? Because an online business, depending on how you essentially deliver your product, you might have an online business that sells you as a speaker. Now, if you don't want to go out standing on stage speaking every couple of weeks, traveling or doing whatever, that's not going to suit your lifestyle. Look at it from a more holistic point of view and say, right, okay, do I want to, and I've said this to quite a few of my friends who are, maybe starting their business or whatever, if you're not looking to, like you say, one-on-one, if you're not constantly looking to speak to people, don't go into a niche or a product that is going to just keep you in that, in that pattern of just speaking to people. So understanding what your lifestyle design is it, I want an online business and I want to stay at home with my family and I want to work 9 to 5, but I want some flexibility and I'm going to work from my office? Or is it, I want to be working from the beach in Bali, working a few hours here and there, and I'm a young single individual who just wants to travel around the world? How does each niche and the way in which you deliver that niche affect that plan?
Absolutely. And I think in the next episode, it'll be a part 2 of this episode about reverse engineering the niche, going a bit deeper into the customer, guys, is really understanding your customer and also looking at people that you can model and reverse engineer. Who are the top 5, the top 10 people in the niche look, funnel hack them, reverse engineer what they're doing, look at their websites, what they say on the sites, their copy, which is a text on the page. Do they have a video? How long have they been advertising for? Do they run Facebook ads, Google ads? Do they have a website? Do they have a YouTube channel? All these things, because if they're advertising, right, Tom, they are making money. So if you can find these top 5 or 10 people, it validates a niche, it's a viable business model, and you can start going in there and putting your spin on it and making it better. Because most people think, oh, there's already hundreds of people in my industry. Well, with the real estate industry, when I got in there was loads of people doing it. There wasn't hundreds, but there was a good 20 people that was doing it at the time. And what I found was I looked at what they did. I pivoted my offer based on my experience. I made it more sexy. I got more results for people. I added more value. I helped people. I brought a younger vibe into it, and I took a lot of the market. So don't get defeated and think this online business thing isn't for me because the industry is flooded, because that's not true. There are millions of people entering the economy, the internet space. And with COVID, people are comfortable to get their card out, give you money, because every transaction now, 90% of it's online.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll chat more about this. There's so many other elements, people by people. And the other side of it is, depending on your product, how many, if your product is a $30 or £30 a month product, okay, so you're a bit more high volume, how many people? But then if you're doing a higher value, high ticket, how many high ticket sales do you need? I mean, if you're selling a £10,000 consulting package on a niche topic to corporate clients, how many of those do you need? I know of a gentleman, right? This guy, here's an interesting topic. Actually, you'll like this one, this example, right? This guy, previously an actor, he charges corporates £50,000 a pop for him to go in and run speaking and presentation workshops.
Wow.
This guy, I'm not kidding you. I remember meeting him, really charming guy. But this guy, like I say, he did probably 3 or 4 gigs a year. That was it.
So he made about a couple of $100,000.
How crazy is that? And I don't know, I don't know how long he would, market, how long his marketing cycle and his lead time was. But, okay, there's a bit around that. So it sounds quite a nice deal, doesn't it? 4 days a year you work and you make $200,000. There's a few other bits and pieces around it. But how interesting is that? And this guy was making money. This guy had clients, but it was such a completely flip on its head. So think about it in that way. How can you address that? How can you work in that fashion, thinking about it like that?
And it's all about keeping things simple. And you have to go into your customer's mind, your avatar's mind, walk in their shoes. What time do they leave work? What are they thinking about? What's their stresses, their problems, their niggles? Go into their mind, if you like, and then write down all of their problems, because they're thinking, oh, your product, yeah, I like it, but it's too complicated. So it's all about keeping things simple, to the point, and step by step. And what we're doing in the next episode is we'll talk about, how are people, what products are they doing? Are they digital products? Are they coaching? Are they group coaching? How do they sell? And reverse engineering it, because Tony Robbins, most of you guys will know Tony Robbins. Just go on Netflix. You can watch his, if you're new to him, in the self-development industry. He says, success leaves clues. And in business, you can look who is successful. Don't copy them, but model what they do, and you're going to be able to also get similar results if you're committed, if you genuinely want to help people. If you don't want to help people, then again, you shouldn't be on the podcast, right? But I'm not ashamed to say that you should want to make a heck of a lot of money for yourself, and you want to help improve your clients' lives, because the more money you have, the more people you can reach, the more people you can help. And plus, you deserve it if you're putting all this time in. So we do have mentoring programs, don't we, Tom? We have coaching programs. Yeah. And I think the best way to go about that is for you to see in the show notes, is to actually fill in a survey and book in a call. It takes literally a minute. Book a call in with me and Thomas, and we can get on the phone, give you a strategy session and help you and see if you're a fit. And we have programs. And again, they're not mega cheap and they're not mega expensive. We got a range, but it can help you. If you just want to have a shortcut and you want all the tools and everything, then book a call with us guys and accelerate it and just start making money faster with coaching. And we believe in that, right? We invest in ourselves, Thomas. We do this, and we understand you're probably skeptical, you're new to us and all of this stuff, but at the end of the day, even if you don't want to become a client, you're going to get huge value from it, and we might suggest you go somewhere else. And yeah, hopefully you got value from it, and we'll see you in the next episode, right?
Take care, guys. Take care.